I had to leave because of a reason. So yeah, I was talking about how yeah, I love swings. I've always loved swings. Um, I always told myself like the stars in the sky. Usually I go in the evening or something. And I've always thought about the stars in the skies as like my dreams. And every time I swing back and then I swing forward and I try to reach my dreams. Or sometimes I would think that every time I would go up the swings, I would think that I'm like floating out of this situation in my life and stuff. If the situation in my life is not good, then I would always like whenever I swing, I would be like, oh my god, I wish I could swing out of this place and go somewhere else, you know. And I feel like in that case, swinging is just like me, like trying to feel less of a weight. Like, you know how we feel heavy sometimes when we have a lot of emotions in ourselves. Usually, when I have a lot of emotions, like that usually ruins my whole day. But these days it's different. I have a lot of emotions in me and I'm not feeling well, but my days is not ruined. I'm still doing like the things that I have to do because I'm like, if I don't do these things, then my present is ruined already. And if I don't do these things, my future is also going to be ruined, right? So that's why I guess. But that's one of the things that I feel like changed about me because I'm like so fed up being sad because of somebody else's mistake that I'm like I just stopped. That's the thing. So yeah, let's create a character. I was saying I feel like let's create a character. I am imagine like a character. I am thinking about like a void kind of a place. Maybe it's like a river, but you know how like think about a very fast flowing water and then there's like a river, and the river's water is so fast that um it's creating something that looks like fogs, like foggy. And I'm thinking like, you know how the water is up here and then it flows up down here, right? um think about that like edge where the water starts falling down. There is someone floating in that edge. Like they're not touching the edge, they're just floating above the edge. They can feel all the cold water and there's fog everywhere, but they're like just floating there. This is something that this is like a visual that is inside my head right now, and I feel like it's just a character that does not want to feel heavy. The child is alive, but the child feels so heavy that this is like what the child wants for themselves. Now, how is this going to be a character? I have no idea. This is just a vision that I had. Maybe I'll paint it, uh, or maybe I'll just draw a sketch of it. But this is just a visual that I had. Maybe we'll use it in the story somehow, but I don't know if it's going to be a character or something like that. But yeah, that's what came to my mind. So let me try to explain this again. So in a river, um, we have water up here and then the water floats down here. And then there's the point, the edge where the water starts falling down. There's a child right above, floating above the edge of that river, and because the water is so fast, um, as the water flows, it's creating this like steam kind of a thing. Like it looks foggy everywhere, and especially the edge looks very foggy, and so the child is like covered with the steam um, from the river, and the child is just floating. I feel like the child himself feels like heaven. You know, it feels like heaven to them. I don't know.